What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the ORGS podcast. My name is Anthony Silva. I'm your host, bringing you another special guest today. This person is not just a player, he's also a host, a creator. He's created his own game, he's a moderator, he's done LRGs, all of the above. This is the perfect person to have on just to come on here and tell their story. Let's give it up for my boy, Santi. What's up, Santi?
What is up, Anthony? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just relaxing and ready to talk
Yeah, yeah.
about
I know you just got
orgs and
back from.
minis.
What'd you say?
I said, I'm ready to talk about orgs and minis.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I know you just got home from a work trip, so just relaxing, chilling, coming on, talking some org life, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So just to get started, I know we met each other kind of through some minis, through the miniverse. Um, I'm not even sure if we've played a game. I know you've hosted me. I think we maybe played one before,
I
but
think one or two.
yeah, but you've definitely been around a lot, whether it's on the prod teams or just through chats and all that stuff. So we made connections through that, and we both live in Texas. So hey, that's rare. I've been in the org world for maybe like a year, and I haven't met many people from Texas. So yeah, just give us a little bit about your background, how you got into orgs, how you got into all of this, into reality TV as well.
Oh, all right. So I'm old school. I started watching Big Brother and Survivor back in 2000. I mean, we kind of chatted about this the other day about the real world marathons back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that this world existed until the pandemic happened. I used to follow a newscaster on Twitter that covered Big Brother Canada, and he started talking about this now canceled game Sequester, and I was like, what the hell is this shit? I looked it up, started watching episodes of the minis online, and then I just got sucked in. I played a couple times, and the next thing I know, I'm making my own game, and I don't know, man. The last 4 years have been crazy, honestly.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Like again, these games have been around for 15 years and probably a little bit longer than that. And again, a lot of people didn't really get to hear or play them or just even know about this whole org world until the pandemic time. But I didn't even hear about it till, like I said, about a year ago. And I'm a super big fan of reality TV and games. I've auditioned for shows, made it far in the process a few times, and yeah. So when I got brought into this world, I was like, "Yo, this is cool. This is like a stepping stone for if you want to get into shows like that." But to everything is based off of like Big Brother and Survivor, and you created your own actual org. So like that's something I think that's an accomplishment because I've actually played your game and I thought it was really well ran. So how did you come up with that idea?
Back in the pandemic days, we were playing Secret Hitler a lot, Mafia, like in between minis. We used to play minis all the time back then, but we were playing these games at night. And I started thinking, like, how would I create a game that could incorporate these aspects? And so that's how Dark Horse was born, where basically you have these three players that if they get to the end, they have three votes in their favor to win, and it's everybody else's job to figure out who they are based upon like the clues I've thrown in the game. I've done multiple types of twists to uncover who the Dark Horses are. And I like to joke that the traders stole my concept because the traders came out like what 2 years ago, year and a half ago now, and I'm like, it's very, very, very similar game.
It is.
I know it's not true, but it is something that I like to joke about that they took my concept.
No, that's fun. That's fun though. Especially if I mean, like you had it out before. Although there's different little things to it. It's kind of nice to know that your idea even is used on a not used or taken, but it's on a bigger platform, like something similar. So your idea has to be great. It has to be good. So. Because
Yeah.
obviously we take most of the games we play are taken from what we see on TV. So what do you like most? Because I know you do a little bit of everything. Do you like playing a lot? Do you like? I know you like hosting. So what do you favor the most?
I honestly I enjoy pretty much being a part of any aspect of a mini or a reality type game that we play. Like as a player, I like to go in there and just play my heart out. I don't take any of this shit seriously. I've won already. I've won multiple times. So Now, as a player, I just kind of go in and help the game along. And if I get far, I get far. And if I don't, I don't. But people are going to remember me in a game. As a host, I love just fucking watching the chaos from behind the scenes and not being a part of it. And then from the mod perspective, it's nice to support another host in their aspect because for me, like these games are all about creativity and strategy and just letting people express themselves. I prefer like original format games. Like I've played the Survivor formats, I've played the BB formats, I've hosted a Traders format myself. But for me, it's more fun when it's an original concept because as a player, I love to break a host idea or twist and manipulate it or exploit it because it challenges them to think harder the next time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, speaking of that, actually, I it just popped in my head, and I can't believe I forgot this. We played a tentacle game together. That's what it was. And we both it was what like 60 something players, and I think we both made it to the final five.
I made it to
And
the
we were
final
playing
three.
and we were playing the game where you got to turn around and then you got to guess who was like trying to kill you or whatever. Yeah, you held it down in that one. That was a good one right there for you.
That
I
was a
don't think
controversial round. That was such a controversial round.
it sure was. It sure was, and it was tough too. I was literally the last one to go on that round. There was like 5 rounds of it, and then I was the last one, and yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely I like. I haven't played too many different concepts because I am like my favorite thing is Big Brother. I do will play some Survivor games or some Trader games, but more recent, I played Dark Horse and then I played Hellscape recently. So those are way two different kind of formats than what you would usually go into. So and you gotta there's so much detail to it as well. Like with yours with the 3 votes on Hellscape, you had to make your vote within 3 minutes. Like those are things that like you're not necessarily used to, you know. And that's one thing that I've learned too is just that minis are a lot different than long games and you just got to play a different game. You know, you just got to learn how to play a different game and move quick and make relationships fast and stuff like that. Is there a? You said you won a couple games or a good amount of games. Or is there one that like sticks out to you? Maybe your first one, or is there one just where you were like super proud of winning it?
There's a couple actually. Like my first one, obviously, because that was the first win. I was brand new to the community. I think I was like December of 2020, and it was this game summit. It's an original format, and basically in the game, nobody leaves the game if they're voted out. Everybody is jury, and you constantly switch
Mm.
places. So there's points in the game where people who are voted out can be voted back in, and there's points in the game where the people voted out have power to vote people out of the game. It's extremely social and chaotic and fun, and I won that. Um, so that was
Nice.
obviously the highlight. And then another one is Castaway, which my friend Rob James hosts. He's from the UK. I've played that game fucking 8 times. It was like the hardest game for me to like walk away from because I wanted that win so bad. And I got close twice, made the final tribal
Oh.
council and lost twice. And the third time I was like, if I lose again, then I'm just gonna step away from this game, and I won, and it was awesome. And then I played a it's a now canceled series because the host is trash, but uh, I won his game, and then I came back and played a winners at war game with 11 other winners, and to walk away from that as a winner was fucking awesome. It just sucks that game got tainted by the host, and
Ugh.
nobody will ever see that footage again because that game was chaotic and fun and there's powers involved. Everybody had like a series of powers we could use against each other that we had to earn. And just learning how to navigate those powers and how to advance yourself within the game. That was a lot of fun. I actually broke a twist in that game that they had to change for future seasons.
Oh, I see. I see. Finding the
Yeah.
loopholes. Finding the
Always
loopholes.
finding the loopholes.
What is that? Are you just playing on Facebook or have you played like on Discord or Twitter, any of those?
No, I come from the Twitter side of the mini community, and that's where I found everything. And then I
Oh.
hopped over to Facebook because I know Michael O'Rear from the Twitter world. And when he started the Reality Miniverse, I obviously, because we're friends, I followed him and I played his game. I won the first Reality Miniverse game, and that was a lot of fun because I came in knowing two or three people, I think, and the rest were strangers to me. Um, and it's always for me it's always nice to win against a group of strangers because it shows me that I still have it. Like it's not my connections, it's not who I know. I'm not playing friend Viver. I actually played a fucking badass game.
That's what's up,
um
man. That's what's up. And have you played any LRGs?
Yeah, I played two. I played Survivor New York last summer. I got ninth out of 21 in that game. Um, Played Idol successfully, which was on my bucket list. Found an idol, obviously. Um, Conducted a blind side, also on my bucket list. So I got to check off all these boxes.
And speaking of LRGs, though, I mean, I know you and I were talking about you hosting one here in Texas. What's up with that?
Yeah, so after I played Survivor New York, excuse me, it was hosted in this guy Troy's house. And I was playing the game obviously, but I was also watching the production standpoint, and they did a phenomenal job from a production standpoint. And I started looking around, and I'm like, he's doing this fucking game in his house, like. And I looked at my house, and I'm like, my house is set up to play. Like, you could create Dark Horse in my house basically
Yeah.
because it's two the game online is in two rooms. Obviously that'd be changed around a little bit, so I started tinkering with the idea a little bit. I finally just went to my husband and I'm like, look, for my birthday next year, this is what I want to do. And so I've been spending the last couple of months like planning this game out, like thinking about how I'm going to turn my house into like an immersive game experience because I want people to come in and play it. I want them to enjoy it, and I want it to be worth their money, you know what I mean? And for me, my goal is to not charge people to play. Like if they're going to spend time to fly in or drive up or whatever it may be, I want to give them a fucking experience. And that's how I kind of approach minis the same way, but this is more obvious in a larger scale. So I've been working on that. Applications are going to come out at some point by the end of the year, and then April of next year. That's the goal for me.
Man, that's exciting. That's exciting. Wait, so you said for your birthday, when's your birthday?
It's in April, April 24th.
April 24th. Oh, okay. I was going to say mine's in March. So, yeah, that's awesome though to turn your house into it too. Like, I mean, but that's honestly, I think that's more than like getting an Airbnb, unless you have some type of family member that has a house that's like available to do it. I think doing it in your own home is probably going to be the best like scenario for you to be more comfortable and deal with situations and to sometimes you got to think quick on your feet, you know,
Hmm.
and you'll be able to have all the equipment you need and things like that. So I'm excited for that, whether I'm in it or I just go like help you out or whatever. Like I'm excited for that, especially here in Texas. Like I said, you're in Austin, right?
Yeah,
But were you born in Austin?
I was born in Fort Worth and then moved to Austin in 2000.
Ah, DFW, DFW.
Yep,
Why
yep,
did you
yep.
move to? What'd you move to Austin for?
My family's here. My dad lives here. My siblings live here, and it
Got
just
you,
made sense.
got
I
you.
live
Yeah,
with my mom.
yeah.
But yeah,
Mine.
kind of going back real quick to what you were saying about like the Texas people. I didn't know when I played LRGs that there were even other Texas LRG people, and I've found like five or six here in Austin. Obviously, I know you. I think what is it? Miranda lives in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Arliana lives in Fort Worth. Like, there's a huge like community here, and it is my goal because we don't technically have um, an LRG in Texas, and we're such a
Yeah.
big enough fucking state. Like, somebody has to be the first one to do it. And I know that there's one out there that's already filmed, and I don't want to talk about it, but it's going to be a great season. But to start building that community, that's kind of part of my goal now. Like, I love playing minis, I love like doing all that stuff, but like doing an LRG is next for me. And we'll just see what happens from there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's definitely connect on that because, again, I'm in the same boat where I just want to create opportunity and platforms for more games, more players, more everything. So that's dope. And I know there's a lot more. I know there's especially from like the Vanquish side. There's a girl named Amy. She lives in San Antonio, and Erin lives in Dallas, and her husband as well. And I know a couple here in Houston. So yeah, we definitely need to talk more on that. Yeah, you told me you were what 42 years old. I just turned 40. I know that there's this in the org world. It's of all ages, but I will say that there's a big middle group that I see between like 25 and like 35 and 40 ish, and then as you get a little bit older, it starts decreasing in the numbers of the org players. And I know there's a couple out there that are in their like 60s and 70s and things like that. Do you feel like that there's like a big difference? Do you feel like that's a big there's because like in the NBA, let's say there's players that are coming fresh out of college, and then there's players that are like 30, 40 years old, like 30 in their late 30s and like 40 early 40s. So do you feel that affects games at all?
I don't look at the age as a factor when I play these games. I look at like how are you going to benefit me?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
how am I going to convince you that what you're doing is going to benefit you, but in reality, it's going to benefit me? Like age, I don't fucking care about. As far as like making friends with people, like you can tell the difference in maturity. I have a friend from the Twitter side. He's 24. I met him when he was 20. He is the most mature 24-year-old I fucking know. Like I've hung out with him in real life. Like we've hung out multiple times. Like he's somebody that yes, I want to spend time with. But if he was one of those 24-year-olds that was just fucking crazy and nuts and like all about the drama, then yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time with you. And more than likely in a game, if you're like that in real life, you're probably like that in a game, so you're probably gonna have to go sooner rather than later for me. So
Yeah.
age doesn't bother me. I mean, I hope I'm not in that 60-70 group. I mean, uh, but yeah, like I don't think and even like age wise, I think I've only gotten called out about my age one time, and it was a lame ass comment about my hairline. I'm like, you're telling me something I fucking don't know. Like,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
that's
care. Yeah,
yeah. I hate when
like
it's about
I don't
looks.
care. Yeah, like for me, I'm like I've been called worse growing up gay. Like, you're not gonna insult me. Like, come up with better material and then come at me.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. And you know what? You're right. You gave me a lot of perspective on that right now. In the fact that I have come across like some younger players that are very mature and they play. They're very well spoken. But then I've come across some who are just here to cause shit. And but on the flip side, there's also a lot of older players that I've come across that yeah, they're all about the drama. They're all about starting shit. Like they come into these games specifically to do that. And so yeah, I guess it's just who you come across. There's I mean, it's a big universe. So I've been playing a lot of games and I'm still meeting a bunch of people and learning that there's people in different communities as far as whether it's different social media platforms or LRGs or any of those things. But yeah, you're right. You're right. The age doesn't really matter. I think it's more just about like the mentality that you come in with these games. Again, yeah, they're supposed to be for fun, but again, some people come in with a different agenda. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I want to talk about that more because it cracks me up when I see people playing games and then they're like, "Well, you fucked me over in this game and you fucked me over in this game and you were my DMs and I'm gonna send these screenshots." And it's like, well, first of all, everything that we are doing right now is pretend. None of this is real. None of
Yep.
this is going to have an actual consequence unless like you do some really fucked up shit like racist or transphobic or anything like that. Like if you say anything like that, yeah, that's going to be. But in the grand scheme, none of that's going to have any real effect. But when people get mad and like block each other and like get on the timeline and start like calling each other out, I'm like, it's over a fucking 5 hour game. It's not real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always like to tell people like if you were to come to my house, Anthony, and we were to play Mario Party, right? And I beat your ass at Mario Party. You're not going to be mad at me. Like you knew what we were signed up for. We were going to play Mario Party, and one of us was going to win.
Well,
If we play Monopoly, like same thing. Like you know what I mean? Like if you
yeah, I was
didn't
gonna
even like.
say Mario Party maybe, but Mario Kart, I'm gonna get heated for sure.
Oh,
No,
I
I'm
don't
just
know,
kidding.
Anthony. I've been playing that since the '90s. Like my college years were a lot of Mario Party or Mario Kart.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. And Halo. I played too
yeah,
much Halo.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I
But
mean, Halo was my life for probably like 2 3 years there. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's touchy because again, like I'm all about what I like the most about the Org universe is the characters. It reminds me of like the WWF. It reminds me of wrestling back in the day. It reminds me of like Marvel, of all the different characters and what they bring. And everybody plays different, and everybody has a different outlook. But you got to remember, there's the villains out there, and you're gonna come across them, and they're out there to specifically play like that and be like that, and just to cause hell, you know.
it's crazy
And
because yeah, no, no, you're right. You kind of touched on the villain thing. Like, yeah, these people come in to play villain. I'm known as being a villain, but if you knew me in real life, like I'm the sweetest, most kindest, like selfless person there is. But when I play these games, I get the opportunity to lie, to cheat, to steal, to do whatever I can to win, and I'll do it because again, there's no consequences. I'm going to be voted out of the Zoom, and then I'm going to come back to my regular life, and then everything will be fine. But there are people that take that on as their full personality. That I'm the villain, and I'm the bad guy, and I'm gonna fucking cuss everybody out, and I'm gonna just create all of these drama for nothing. And it
yeah,
just cracks me up because it's like, girl, like you could be wasting your time on something else, but here we are.
For sure, for sure. I mean, you play a villain, but it's more strategic villain. It's in the game. It's not really like calling people out for like things outside of the game. You blindside somebody, you cross somebody, but it's all game. And yo, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So,
Yeah. And when I say
but
cheating, when I say cheating, I mean cheating within the confines of the game,
nah, the
not
loopholes,
cheating
the
like
loopholes.
yeah, the
Yeah,
loopholes.
for
Yeah,
sure.
not googling shit or having side conversations, anything like that. Like cheating within the confines of the game, and that's how I approach games. Like sometimes you'll catch me asking the host questions multiple times because I'm trying to find the confines of where we're at in the game and what I can work with.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Again, I'm all about trying to find some loopholes too. Cheating would be too hard for me, anyways. Like, it's hard for me to pay attention and like when people are talking and trying to understand what they're saying and trying to like cheat on the side or anything like that. This is why, like in Hellscape, I couldn't even write a damn name down in 3 minutes on a
Well, I
board,
don't
and
think
that's all
that
I
was
had to
the
do.
reason why, but yeah,
All right, we'll
we'll
just
skip over that.
yeah, yeah. So, no, I mean, again, it's yeah. I mean, it's something that you just have to. I don't know. I don't know. Some people, I've seen people get it bad. That's the problem. Like the villain side of somebody. I've seen people get it bad to where like you want to say something, but then you also don't want to like cross a line. You also don't want to get into other people's business. But like if I saw somebody in the streets getting attacked or something like that, I'm probably gonna help them. You know what I mean? I'm probably gonna at
Yeah.
least say something or call. But in these games, it's like you see a lot of that happening, and then you don't necessarily want to step in because then you're gonna be attacked. So it's a lot of those type of things going on, and there's always like there's dark horse, there's a dark side to to orgs,
Yeah.
and but we don't let that shine. There's too much good in it. There's too much fun in it. Again, when we're playing these, it's to come in here and to release. Sometimes it's to build relationships and friendships with other people. We all have a common we all liked reality shows. This is literally like why we're playing these games. Or you liked some type of game, whether it was like Wheel of Fortune or Family Feud or something like that. And this is why we're into orgs now, is because of that. And so yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. It's even tough to talk about,
Yeah.
but sometimes it needs to be said. Sometimes these things need to be out there. Again, like you hear the word bully thrown out a lot in this
Oh.
community. You hear the yeah. I mean, I guess that's probably the main word that I hear when it comes to because backstabbing, crossing, that's gonna happen in these. That's literally these games are made for that. Like there's only one winner most of the time. So the other 16, 15, 20 people, at some point you're either gonna lose or get screwed over. And so you have to be able to deal with that as well. Because I've also come across people who do not deal with that stuff well. That's another thing too. Especially since you have a strong career outside of this. A lot of the players they either work from home. A lot of them may not even work. A lot of them, like me, like I travel for work. I'm a dancer, so a lot of my stuff is on social media. Luckily, I'm a single father, and my son lives here with me at home. So I luckily I have the freedom to be with him as much as I get to because of my work being so flexible. And so this is another reason why I get to play org. So a lot of people have different backgrounds, and so they treat the orgs different as well. So like you
That's
said, for you
completely
it's
true.
fun. You got your life outside of it. You got your work, and some of these people don't necessarily have that stuff, so they bring a lot of their life into the orgs, and so and
Yeah. And no shade to like anybody who plays orgs at all. I just like me personally, the reason I don't play them is I don't have the time. Like if I'm gonna play a mini, I have to like figure out when I'm gonna have this 5 or 6 hour window, and I make sure to make it available. I'm not saying like I'm super crazy important or anything like that, but like I make the time to play these games. For an org, I don't have the time to like text and voice calls and all that stuff that goes within the game. That's way too much for me personally. I respect anybody who can do it. Somebody in a group chat said that they enjoyed the long con the other day, and I was like, actually, that would make sense. I probably would have fun doing that. I just can't.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Long games are definitely. I mean, yeah, they definitely, especially if you make it like to the end, you're in there for over a month for sure, and that's a lot of time and sacrifice, and So you definitely have to have that free time or just the will to want to do it. Like there's some
Hmm.
people that take some time off and then they're like, all right, I'm ready for another game. And then there's some people who play like literally like every night almost, and I don't think I could do that. That's very tough. It's
Oh,
strenuous
if
on your
there's one,
mind.
yeah, if there's one way you want to piss me off in a mini, either as a player, as a host, playing two games at the same time while you're playing my game or in the game that I'm playing, like I will immediately target you for that specific reason. Because
Yo,
none of us are that important to be
yes,
playing two games at once. And especially if
yo,
it's two different minis, like pick one and then go do that. Like you're not gonna miss anything.
for sure, for sure. Let's talk about that real quick because I do. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I've done it before, but this was me testing it out, trying to figure, if this would work out or not. One of the games was, it was like a 2 day mini while I was doing a like, it was a long game, but it was a mini. It was like a 2 week one. So and I tried it out, but I do. It's not. I wouldn't say do it. It's too stressful. It's too hard. Too many people to keep up with. But I would say where production or hosts need to do is make sure that their players are only playing that game, especially if it's a long game or any type of game that's past like well, I mean, I guess minis too. Like that would be actually be stupid to play two minis at one time. Um, but I definitely think that that's something that I would, if I were to tell a host or if I were to host something, I would have to 100% make sure that you're not playing any other games because, again, it's just kind of disrespectful sometimes. Cause I think to some of the players who do sacrifice their time or away from their work or their kids or their husbands and wives or anything like that, and then somebody doesn't show up, or they're not playing the challenges and things like that because they're playing another game. Like that's just I just think like again you don't have to take it so seriously, but at the same time like these hosts, the prod team, they're even putting even more time in too as well. So just to respect that factor, I think is a big thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a huge matter of respect to the host because the amount of work that it goes into put one of these games together is a lot. At least for me, because when I make my games, I want to make sure that I've covered every avenue, and I've tried to. I joke with people whenever they play my games. I'm like, just so you guys know, you're not only playing against each other, but you're playing against me. So like, you're trying to figure out what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of next or whatever. There's a lot of work involved. And then when I see people to playing these two games, it just to me it's like you're not that important to be playing two games. Pick one, have fun. If you can't play the one I'm hosting, that's cool. Next time maybe you can play.
Yeah.
But no, I've flung people as a player because they're playing two games before.
Hey, first of all, we love a good host, and second of all, we love a host that's not afraid to make moves like that for sure. I think that host. I mean, hosts got to put their foot down at some point. You got to do what you got to do, especially if someone's disrespecting your game like that. And yeah, you put a lot of time and effort in. And again, I've come across some hosts that need some work, and then I've come
Oh, we could
across
talk about that.
yeah, well, yeah. So I've come across great hosts. Like I love Michael. Michael's a great host. And then again, I've come across some hosts that like, yeah, they need just maybe some people helping them or something like that.
I'll say this. One, not everybody's cut out to be a host. We all want to be a host. It's fine. If you want to try it, but not everybody's cut out to do it. Two, if you're going to host a game, pre-plan the game in advance, especially if it's a game that you're advertising. If it's a fucking messy mini or a pop-up, like that's fine if you don't have shit planned. But if you promoted this game, you've cast for it, you've done all the work for it, then you should have the game set up. I recently watched a game where like the host was picking the challenges as the game went along, and it's like, what are you freaking doing? Like
Oh,
this is, and there were other hosts in the game, and I could tell that they were having like that frustration of like, right now I'm a player, but I'm just gonna go along with this host's rules. And again, like not everybody's cut out for it. It's just I've lurked in some games sometimes, and I'm like, child, like I would have bounced the moment that this rules got switched because the host didn't know what they're doing. And that's
yeah.
no shade. That's no shade to anybody. Anybody's welcome to come to me. I will help you work out a concept. I will give you some of my ideas. I will help anyone who asks for it. I will help you out.
No, absolutely. Like anybody who look, no, like you said, no shade to anybody that's trying and maybe not doing the greatest job. It's look, I've been in the dance world for a long time, and I've been hosting dance competitions across the USA for 15 plus years, and I've come across a lot of people who, when I go to their competition, it's yeah, they need some help, you know, and so but you can't fault them for trying. You can't fault them for wanting to just try these things, give back, and so yeah, it's again, either you can crush them or you can offer some help, maybe, you know, or offer them some good advice or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
And that's why I
But
said like no tea to anybody, but just some people should not be doing it.
yeah, hey, but that's the truth. You find your niche. Either you're some people are just players, some people are great hosts and only want to host. And some people like I know that only do moderate. They're moderators. I know someone. He's a great player. Like I played with him one game and like he would probably win a bunch of games, but he just likes to mod games. He just likes to watch them. You know, all these things. This is what makes this is what creates the org universe. The players, the host, the moderators, even the fans. I mean, again, there's probably people out there that just watch. They just come on and watch. Friends of
Hmm.
friends, you know, and that's good too. So we definitely need to continue to try to. I just think anybody out there like you, anybody who's hosting these LRGs, anybody who's making group pages, you're adding to the community, no matter what. Obviously, some of them are, you know, looking for like, you know, like drama purposes and this and that. But guess what? Like, this is why I have Org Center. Org Center is my group page. It's just like Sports Center. Like when you go to ESPN, it's a bunch of different shows on ESPN, you know. And some of them they're talking mess. Some of them they're just giving stats. Some of them they're recapping games, you know. And that's what my idea was. So when for Org Center, so when you see other pages out there that are just literally for people to talk on, or they're for games or anything like that, it's still adding to the community. It's still building it up.
No shade, no tea to the hosts that have tried to host. I was just giving my opinion on that. Uh, but yeah, like I want to see this community grow, and I want to see like we have multiple people now that have either played LRGs or played orgs or played minis that have made it on to reality TV shows. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
and I want to continue to see that. I think that I believe, and I could be fucking crazy, but I feel like CBS has started to dip into like this little pool of community that we have because they do recognize that some of the players that play these games are really good players and they would make really good TV.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I hope to see that more as these seasons of like Big Brother and Survivor go on, or any of these reality shows. Like The Mole has somebody who was back from the sequester mini days. Like he's now playing The Mole season 2. So how awesome is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. I think I saw on the Squid Games. I saw a couple people on there. There was actually a breakdancer that I saw on there that I knew.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Chapman,
they're
who played Realfoot, was on Squid Games.
Yeah. So you see, this is an opportunity too. This could open doors for, you know, for people as well. So that's why again I want to, you know, continue to help and build. And you know, my goal too is to be on the show one day. At this point, I'll get on any of them since hey, I've learned how to. I didn't know how to play Survivor. Now I know how to play Survivor because of Org. So if I ever got asked to play Survivor, hell yeah, I would do it. Um, but Big Brother is obviously like my goal. That's always been my number one. I was watching that with my family growing up. At times, the challenge has always been my favorite. But that goes back to the real world days and me growing up with those people and then watching them grow through the challenge and stuff like that. But are you gonna go to Florida in December?
No, I don't even know anything about Florida. Is that Hearts of Reality? I think.
Yeah, so it's not well, they basically changed the name. It's a long story, but it's called Over the Edge Weekend now. And pretty much, yeah, it's similar fashion. It's a bunch of reality stars getting together for the cause, and then obviously it's going to be overran by org players and LRG players, and so I mean that's always a fun time, and yeah, so I know Michael will be there probably. I don't know. I know he was there last year, but yeah, if you decide you want to do something in December, let us know. We're gonna maybe we
Yeah,
travel over there together. We'll see.
that would be cool. Yeah, I know. I have to look at my schedule. Like I have a quite a busy fall that I can't really talk
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
but you know how it is.
Busy
But
man,
yeah, that
busy
would be
man.
yeah. It
Yeah,
sounds like it'll be fun. Michael is
That's
not a
another
selling
thing
point,
too.
just so you know.
What? Go ahead.
I said, Mike, have you telling me Michael's going to be there is not a selling point, but no, I'm
That
kidding. I love Michael over here. I give that man shit any chance I get.
no, for sure, for
So,
sure. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I again, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. We could keep talking and talking and talking. So I would love to have you on again one day. But just wanted to bring you on here so you could tell your story. I love more than anything people who've created their own thing. Much respect to that. So, but yeah, again, I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk again. And any last words?
no, no, Anthony, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was fun talking about this stuff. Last words, I would just remind people to be nice to each other and quit throwing the word bully around because they haven't seen bullies yet. It's just ridiculous. And be nice, have fun, and remember it's all just a game.
All right, Santi, once again, I appreciate you. Much love, all the respect, and hope all goes well for you. We'll definitely talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, Anthony.
All right, everybody, be back with another episode soon. Let's go!